Welcome to Angels Changing Tyres. I'm your host, Yonatan Chanochi. The first episode or the first chapter to start this journey of the podcast would be to just vulnerably share my own story and how I got to do what I do right now, actually, to enter those completely different life from what I had before. So yeah, those of you who don't know me, my name is Yonatan Chanochi. I was born and raised in Israel, and I currently live in New Zealand. I've been here for about 4 years now. I came here before COVID, and then COVID hits, and like most of us, it was a thing that pretty much decided for us where we're gonna be and how we're gonna live our life. And luckily for me, this land really embraced me very powerfully, very strongly. And today I call this place home. So today I'm teaching yoga, I'm practicing Tantra, I'm working with other people and trying to support them on their journey to become more conscious, more free, more liberated in their life. But that was definitely not my path before. My life changed completely, pretty much soon after I entered here. So I just finished my military service in Israel. In Israel, it's mandatory to serve in the army, so I did that for 3 years. As you can imagine, it was a very intense experience, very, I guess, limiting. You can't really be who you want to be. You need to follow certain rules, and you wear your uniforms, and your life are very much limited, yet it really does gives you a certain strength, I feel, for life, to tolerate certain things that you need to do. So anyway, I finished that service and I decided to go travel with one of my best friends from Israel. And we traveled together, and the first destination that we arrived was to New Zealand. And after 2 months being here, he told me that he heard about this festival called Illuminate. And I told him, what's this festival? So he told me it's this alternative festival, conscious people. And my first response was, from the outside, I really showed enthusiasm because he was speaking about it like it's something so beautiful. His friends told him about it. But for me, it was so weird, so new. I didn't know what to expect. I was, feeling pretty defensive. How I'm going to be around all these people that are completely different from me. And how is this experience going to be? Like completely new. But I decided to trust him, and we went together. And I remember the drive there was really long on the gravel road, and suddenly something starts to feel like you're gonna enter and something completely new, something completely different. Is like you get disconnected from reality, from everything you know about life, about our society, and enter a completely new place, everything different, where people just kind of create the reality pretty much. And I remember it as being one of the most inspiring places I've been ever. I saw people smiling, I saw people hugging, I saw people with light on their face, and everyone was so friendly. You don't know anyone. I was walking around, didn't know anyone, and all of a sudden, within 2 minutes, I'm just speaking with someone and they become my best friends for the day. It was unbelievable, just an unbelievable experience for me. I never saw something like that before. I never felt so welcomed, so loved. Not because I needed to say something or do something or wear something or anything like that, just me. just me felt so welcome there. And I feel that only being part of such a community, only being part of an event like that by itself, really opened up something within me. But there was one specific moment there that I remember that really got me think differently and start to explore other realms in life. And that was one workshop that was just called Tantra Yoga. That's it, Tantra Yoga. I'm not sure who was the facilitator of that workshop. I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna write it down in the description once I understand. But anyway, whoever this woman was, it was something that was touching me so deeply and profoundly. So thank you so much if you're in this podcast now. In the workshop, we started just to walk around the room, the tent, and just exchange small eye contacts with each other just to see who's around us in the group. And already, just by walking and exchanging these few seconds of eye contact with different people, I could start to feel that something is starting to move. I was suddenly feeling so, I don't know, so tense, so much love, so much sadness, everything together. All the emotions just came together, just a big rush of energy. And to remind you, before that, I didn't even knew or thought or really was engaged with something that I can refer to as energy these days. And she led us through the exercises. We did a lot of emotional release. We did a lot of shaking, of screaming, just to let our mind go away, just to drop in more and more into our body, into the present moment. And after that, the second part of the workshop, that's where for me the magic was starting, which left me with many question marks. We just needed to stand right in front of someone in the group and just share eye contact with them for about 3 minutes. And after those 3 minutes, we would send healing to each other or send good intentions and love. Non-physical touch, just bringing our hands close to their body, close to their face, their shoulders, and just send them love. And each and every person I exchange eye contact, something completely different happened in my body. With one person, we looked at each other's eyes and it felt like he's my brother, like my physical brother, biological brother. I have no siblings. I never knew how it feels to have a brother or a sister, but with this person, it felt like he's my brother, and we just couldn't stop laughing and hugging and, just immersing into that love, into that connection. Another woman, although she was maybe 20 years older than me, to me it felt like I'm her dad and she's my daughter. And in the end, she was starting to cry on my shoulder, and I hugged her, and it was so weird. Another woman, I felt like she's my grandma, and I was crying and weeping all over her shoulder. Another woman, it felt like this very strong sexual tension, very strong attraction. And so on, so on. The experiences were so different from one another, just simply by looking at someone else's eyes. I didn't know their name. I didn't know anything about them. I didn't know even how their voices sound like. I hadn't exchanged anything except of looking at them in the eyes and give them a hug in the end. And yet at the same time, I felt so intimate with each and every one of those people. It's like I knew them all my life. And that to me was a certain moment of awakening, which on one hand left me with, okay, there is much more to life than I experienced so far. Yet I was so confused. I didn't know how I was living so far. So what was my experience? So who am I? So what was that? Like all of those questions started to arise, starting to doubt myself, reality. So why am I even doing what I'm doing? Going to work, waking up why do I do all that? Like all those questions started to arise. And there is something very frustrating to stay with that confusion, but there is also something very sweet. Because since that moment, I started to look at life with a bit more curiosity. I was starting to question myself more and more. Every time before I did something, if I eat something, I start to question, why do I want to eat that compared to another thing? For example, I was eating meat at that time, and I was just starting to ask myself, okay, so I'm eating meat right now, and there was a certain process to make this food come to my plate right now. And can I do that? Can I actually do that thing and kill an animal? And not about good or bad. It's not about whether it's right or wrong. It's completely not about, just the questioning of why I do the things that I do every day. Why do I wake up and do the same things all over again? Why do I think about myself the way I think about myself? Why I experience friendship the way I experience it? Why I experience relationship the way I experience it? Why is my sexuality in a certain way? And maybe I can shift it. Maybe I can bring more to it. Maybe life has more to offer than I experienced so far. All of those questions start to arise. And at some point they became so strong that I just needed a teacher. I needed a certain guidance to help me understand what I'm going through. What is this life all about? And I'm really grateful that I decided to go and travel in India. And when I traveled in India, I went to travel in this place called Rishikesh. It's a place in North India, close to the Himalayas, absolutely beautiful. It's one of the most sacred places in India for the natives who live there. It's one of the places that are, let's say, the source of the teachings of yoga in the world today. And for thousands of years, it was a place that people would come and study yoga. I didn't even knew that this place, that's what people go and do there. But in one of the days, I just walk on the streets. It's India. It's very chaotic. Cows and noise and smells and colors and everything around you. And within all that chaos around, I just see a little ad, a little poster saying Tantra Yoga. That's it. Just saying Tantra Yoga in that studio. And that on Wednesday they have a kind of introductory session for beginners to join. I didn't really knew what I'm gonna sign in for, but I just remembered the name Tantra from that same workshop I had in New Zealand more than 4 years ago now. And I said, I have to go there. I have to go there. I have so many questions. I experienced something so profound. I have to understand more. What was it about? And I'm so grateful for making that decision in that school of Tantra Yoga. More than the knowledge that they gave, they gave a certain perspective about how the human system is built and the different bodies or layers that the human mechanism has. We have the physical body, we have the mental body, we have the energetic body, we have the etheric body, we have a completely non-physical body within us, which gives a certain structure to me, and it's beautiful. Like, it's something that gave me a lot. I feel that what was the most profound thing is that they didn't really teach us anything in terms of telling us this is right and this is wrong and that's what life is about. They gave a certain structure about a certain way to understand life. Yet, most of the teachings were certain practices that we could do with ourselves, whether it's breathing exercises, whether it's movement, whether it's asanas or physical postures, meditation, mantras, and just kind of allowed us to to find those answers within. They just told us that if we will do those practices and be really dedicated and take that time for ourselves and listen inward, we can find our own truth around that. We can, get closer to the answers that we're actually looking for, to that understanding of who we are. And to me, it was a huge realization over there. I suddenly understood what energy means. I started to practice every day for, I don't know, a few months after this, that I signed up for this course. It was a 1-week course. And I started to do this practice every day for maybe, 10 months or a year. I did that every single day. From a person that for me was the hardest thing to wake up in the morning, I would wake up just, smiling and laughing and so happy to start my practice, because it gave me something so huge. It gave me a gateway to find myself, to find my true self, not the persona that I'm identifying myself on the outside world, not what I need to do to survive, not what I like or don't like, something bigger than that. It's that little guidance. I think we all have those moments that sometimes we have a certain certainty or certain understanding around things in life. We have this little voice that tells us, you should go there. Those things that happen to you, that you really know that you need to be somewhere. And later on, after that, you understand, okay, something happened and you met this person or that situation happened, and you learned something, or you helped someone, or you met someone in the middle, and just something happens, like those magical moments. I really think that this is all us listening to something higher that's alive in every one of us. And yeah, this journey pretty much started from there. The thing is, with all the blessings that this journey brought, like it brought me closer to myself. At the same time, it brought up all my shadows at the same time. All those, I call it the illusions, or the things that I identify as myself, which are completely not myself, or my ego, or my persona. And the more I got closer to, let's say, the wise part, or the higher self, or the soul, or whatever you want to call it, the more those shadows started to come up. It's like, to me, that's exactly what karma means. And yeah, it's like to face ourselves, to face our demons, to face everything that was not true, that we identified so powerfully with. And that was a hell of a roller coaster, that was so challenging. Yet every time that I understood that whatever it is that I'm experiencing is me creating it, take full responsibility. I create this experience. I created the sickness at the first place, but now to heal that sickness, I need to go to the wound. I need to touch it, and I need to trust that life brought me this lesson right in front of me now, because I'm ready to face it. It every time ended up to just open up to something way more beautiful, way more powerful, big insights, big sense of power, sense of belonging, sense of self-care, sense of love, sense of feeling closer to myself more and more and more every time. And at some point, I think you understand that this journey is a long journey. It's not something that within a year you're gonna have. You find that you reach that place within you that feels beautiful and comfortable and wise, and that higher self or that soul. Like there's so many layers to peel, and it's a lifelong journey probably. And I think by accepting that and trusting that, something made that process becomes more easy. So anyway, I think I went pretty far with the associations. What happened after that? Because I started to practice every day, I started to take a yoga teacher training, and this journey led me to meet so many incredible human beings that I'm so grateful to meet them, friends and teachers. Even if they were not formal teachers, to me they are teachers. So many people that I met were just teachers in that journey, and I think life are completely different than how they were 4 years ago now. There is something more full, more, the spectrum is larger of experiences. There is more wholeness to the experiences that life brings. The food tastes better, the conversations are more intimate and deeper, the joy lasts longer, the sexuality is way more profound. There is so many layers. That by itself would be a topic that I would love to speak about, because that's a huge one. So anyway, that's what it brought into my life. Just a bigger, fuller experience, closer to myself, of what it means to be alive here and now. It's a very interesting journey. And today, actually, in the last year, I decided that that's what I want to do. I want to share that. I want to talk with people about that. I want to help them on their journey. I want to share with them the tools that helped me. I want to allow them to sleep better, to have a better relationship with themselves, with their loved ones, with the world. Yeah. So still here I am in this dark room full of candles, speaking to myself, sharing with you my story. I'm not really sure what I'm speaking about, but really just speaking from my heart and letting the words come out of me. And this is, I guess that's gonna be the first episode. That's gonna be the introduction. That's my story. That's a little bit of my story of how I started this journey and what got me to start that path of what a lot of people say, a spiritual journey or self-realization. Yeah, I'm gonna be really curious to hear from those of you who have entered that path, what it means for you, what got you into that path, what is your story. I think we can all learn from each other's story, and to share our truth and to share our experiences, there is something that we can all take from and be inspired about. Yeah, so I hope this time find you well, find you inspiration or something that might lit curiosity or interest in anything that you do in your life. So that's it for this episode. If you have any questions or want to ask me anything, please, you're more than welcome to do so. I would love to speak with you. I would love to hear your story. I would love to even share your story on this podcast. And yeah, feel well, be well. Many blessings to you all. And I will see you next time.